Greetings and welcome back to yet another episode of Slay the Spire, and today we're gonna be playing as the Ironclad. Finally, my old friend, I've missed you so much, it's just so nice to see you again. And as for the modifiers, at least we don't have any potions this run. We have specialized, which means we start with 5 copies of a single rare card. Enemies drop 200% more gold, but we can't upgrade them on the rest sides, and the vintage just means we're gonna get relics instead of cards from normal enemies. So we're probably gonna want to fight elites, we're probably gonna want to go to the shrouds because we're gonna have more money and they're gonna be our only source of getting new cards. And because we can't upgrade them, we shouldn't be too worried about being aggressive with our health, because the only thing we can do is rest, unless we get something like the shovel, which will allow us to dig for more relics. Otherwise, that would probably be preferable. With all of that said, that was a bit of a meandering intro. Let's embark on a journey and just slay the spire, I suppose. That's what we always try to do. Sometimes it works. I would say more often it works than not. So okay, I just say that we don't have to worry about our health, and we just get a bunch of reapers to heal ourselves up back to full. I really want something that will allow me to do something besides rest at rest sites, because with a combination of burning blood and all the reapers, I don't imagine us really dropping below a certain amount of HP. I see 2 shops in this path. There's one shop here, and then I can do another one here, and I can fight 2 elites at the same time. This seems like the best path, I think, and we'll probably want to fight as many enemies as well, just because. Is there any reason why we want to fight enemies? I don't think there is a reason other than the fact that we get more score for fighting enemies as opposed to not fighting them. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. So, are we just gonna Reaper all the time? Now, a block, I don't really care, really. I just want to do as much damage as possible. I'm gonna heal at the end and I have Reapers, so. Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's vulnerable, which means we're gonna be healing for 6 every time we Reaper him. And of course the turn I needed that didn't really happen. But it's fine, we heal at the end of the turn anyway. Bronze scales, completely fine. Oh yeah, we also want to fight the enemies, not only because we get more score at the end, but also because we get... I could just do a bash, doesn't matter. I mean, the effect is the same. We also get relics from fighting enemies, so that's also pretty good. A defend and a reaper just seems like the most defensive option as well as offensive, I suppose. So before I meant to say that it didn't make a difference whether I struck twice with 2 strikes or if I just used the bash, which dealt that damage on its own, because it used 2 energy and the enemy had 8 HP, so it doesn't matter, right? Unseizing Top, this is definitely a relic you kind of make your deck around, but because we won't really get a lot of cards, there's really not much deck to make around, I guess. The problem is, right, with Unseizing Top, you want low energy cost cards, but because we have Reapers in our deck that cost 2, and the majority of our deck is actually 2 cost cards at this point, there's really not much we can do in that regard. I should have obviously struck first and then Reapered, because I only heal for the damage I deal that is not blocked. That would have been a better idea, but that's fine. A Clash seems like a good idea because we have many attacks in our hand. A Bandage is honestly not necessary, so a Clash is definitely an item. And I think a War Cry is gonna work well with something like Clash, right? Also, it's gonna allow us to go through the Reapers if we're gonna draw into them. So I'm gonna take that as well. And that seems good for now. Transmutation seems like a fun card. Oh, we can remove a card. I definitely want to remove a Reaper, I think. Yeah, 5 Reapers is a little bit too many. I can live with maybe 3, 2, but 4 is definitely a little bit too much. We're definitely gonna be fighting an elite here. So let's go in this direction. We'll also get another relic because there's another enemy in our path. It's all looking very good. A Reaper, sure. Let's just heal me up, baby. And I block for 6 passively because of Orichalcum, right? Need to keep that in mind. A Reaper, honestly, a block is fine. I think I don't need to use a War Cry here. I don't think it's necessary. It might have been, but that's fine. A Clash is doing damage now. A Bash and a Clash just kills him, I think. Perfect math. Not perfect, but satisfiable math is a better way to put it. Reapers on this fight is just gonna be great, right? I don't think I probably can't survive or do enough damage to really... I have a block potion, I have a strength potion. I'm gonna utilize both of them. I think I need to go on the offensive and just get rid of one if I want to do anything of value. I want to put the defend on top, I think. Because I have a block potion for this turn. So if I just do... That is 16 damage, that is 18 damage. I think I just want to go ham on one guy. Does that make sense? I don't think it does. I don't think I can actually kill him unless I draw into Clash. And even then, it might have been... Yeah. I tried. Honestly, I tried. I did my best, guys. You can't hate me for it. I'm still gonna just focus on this guy because I don't think there's a way for me to kill him next turn. And even if there is, that's fine. No perfect here yet, but it's fine because I'll heal for a ridiculous amount anyway. I guess I'll just focus this guy. I have another Reaper in my deck, and I have a Clash, which means that this guy is pretty much guaranteed dead. One Strike, one Reaper, one Clash just kills him. So I don't need to worry about him too much, I think. A Strike is fine. Right, a Clash is problem if I have these in my deck. So I'm just gonna focus this guy so he hopefully dies next turn. I'm not too worried about my health situation here, right? Obviously, I just want... Right. I just want to get through the fight by perfecting it, so not taking any damage. Just for the score. Exclusively for the score. I shouldn't have blocked there, obviously, because Orichalcon gives me more block. Have to keep that in mind. This and this is fine, and he's probably dead next turn. He's definitely dead, because we have a strike in our draw pile. Perfect. Perfect, that went really well. A shovel! Exactly what I wanted. Another Clash seems okay to me. An Iron Wave... No, another Clash just seems fine. Stack me baby one more time. I mean, dig me baby... I'm not sure. You know, just put something of the baby lyrics from... that's Britney Spears, right? That has to be Britney Spears. Are my references dated? I'm not sure, they probably are. I'm quite not good with the pop culture side of things generally. A Reaper first, is that a good idea, or should I do a Strike first? A Strike first seems to make more sense to me. I think it doesn't matter on this guy, but on the other ones it definitely does. Or should I just block? No, I get 6 block by not doing... I mean, I get 6 block passively, so I don't need to block because it's less than Orichalcon, right? So no reason to do it. A Strike kills this guy... Wait, I'm weakened? Right, okay. I see. That's fine. They're just dead next turn. I just draw a Reaper and just destroy them, take their lives. That's what the Reaper does. That's great. Whenever you lose HP in combat, gain 3 blocks next turn. That's fine, gives us more survivability. Upgrade to random attacks. That's pretty good. Because we can't upgrade them on our own, means we have to take this upgrade. Fine, perfect. A Bash and a Clash probably kills this guy. Is that correct? It is. I didn't do the math, it just seemed to make sense there. Either I do 2 defense, obviously, because I have Clash. I need to play a little bit faster. Not super fast, like two episodes ago where I finished the run in 30 minutes and actually won. that was quite something. Now this is good for money, but is it good for just skipping out on the shop? I don't think it is, because we might get something really good and we can dig for another relic here. Matryoshka next to chest contain 2 items instead of just 1. Status cards, I mean that's fine. Mercury, this seems like really good, and this seems really good as well. I'll buy both. This seems good because it works with clashes, right? I'm gonna remove another Reaper. The Maw here, the Maw Bank definitely didn't do much for us, but it did something, so that's fine. It gave us 12 gold, which is better, which is strictly better than nothing, right? So I'll just save it for another turn. I have Flex, I have Clashes. I'm gonna be able to do more damage on them. I mean, really? Fine. I mean, next turn is definitely gonna be a good one, at the very least. Because I can do a Bash, a Strike, and 2 Clashes. Definitely the right turn to use the Psalm because he's at 53 HP. Just the previous turns were kind of bad. But it's fine because we redrew our entire deck. But obviously that wasn't enough because we drew into 3 Reapers. And we only have 3 Reapers in our deck at this point. So that is not unfortunate, but I would say quite unlucky. Now that's annoying. I really hope we could have perfected him there. The only way to perfect him really was to draw into more clashes, just and maybe a flex just to deal as much damage as possible, but honestly it's fine. Strike is okay. Am I not defending at all? That's damn right. Why? Because I don't need to defend. I'm not afraid of anything. I might be afraid of some things, but not of this guy. Well, your HP is at or below, you gain 2 additional strength. That's great. A rampage, fire breathing, or ghostly armor. Maybe one ghostly armor is not the worst of ideas, just for some block, and it can also exhaust. So if you really don't need it, we can, I guess, just let it evaporate. Maybe that's the wrong reasoning to have in our situation, but it is what it is. No reason to block because of her Calcum, obviously. So we just do damage to the Spike Slime. Oh, I have energy for it. Them dealing 21 damage on their first turn on the very first floor seems a little bit cheesy to me. I won't lie. I won't lie to you. Or 16 on their next turn. That's, in total, that's almost 40 damage in 2 turns. That's a little bit ridiculous. I'll do that and just use a ghostly armor, should be enough to sustain ourselves. He's not dead, but we're blocking for enough. Right, Unceasing Thought. Wouldn't have mattered, but it's good to keep in mind. There's no reason not to kill him now. I was just thinking maybe we have something like health in our deck, but we don't, so... I mean, some healings which we could have utilized, but we don't, so that's fine. War Paint, upgrade to random skills. Ghostly Armor, perfect upgrade. It only gets 3 more block, that's not very good, actually, but that's fine. I'll put this on top of my draw pile, probably, and just do this. This just deals more damage and a clash. That's fine. 10 damage, which means we can probably phase him next turn. We can definitely phase him this turn. Wait, no, we can't. We can if we pop a Strength Potion, I think. That's 16 damage. No, we can't. We also can't block for enough. Well, that's great, isn't it? Well, that's just beautiful. That's just beautiful. Thanks. I mean, we didn't take as much damage, but it definitely was a little bit unfortunate, I would say. A reason to phase him now? I don't think we have a reason to phase him now, actually. I think he debuffs us, though, so maybe for that reason it's a good idea. Now, I was just thinking, because he gets blocked, but it doesn't really matter, because we draw the next turn, and the next turn he loses his block, which means we can just do damage freely by using Bash and a Clash. And because at this point we already lost the perfect, there's really no reason to worry about it, so yeah, that's fine. Right, plus we have Tori, which means that any damage that is under 5 gets reduced to 1, except unless, not unless, but obviously, I thought that worked for spikes as well, so the damage you deal that gets reflected back at you, but apparently it doesn't. Maybe I need to reread it. Wait, I'll do that. Tori. Whenever you would receive 5 or less unblocked attack damage, oh, it's very specific, it says attack damage, so only if he's attacking you, okay. Not if we're attacking ourselves, I guess. Being at 1 is great here, just means we can perfectly phase him this turn probably, just do a lot of damage. That is exactly what's happening. Right, obviously I should have used the Clash first, just because that would deal the most damage to him. Right, the idea is you want to do as much damage to him that's unblocked, and because the first instance of damage you deal, that's when he gets blocked, so that means on the first instance of damage, I'll explain what I mean. So if he has 100 HP and he has 1 block, or at least he is 1 turn from phasing away, dealing 20 damage on that particular turn is gonna make him take, if you do 20 damage for example, it's gonna take him 19 damage, right? And then he's gonna get 20 armor. But if we strike him first, he's only gonna take 5 damage, or I mean 6 damage, and then he's gonna get the block, which means that when we use a Clash, it's only gonna hit the block and not his HP. That makes sense, right? Immolate, this always seemed like a pretty good card to me, especially because we have a medical kit now. A demon form seems okay, but maybe a bit too slow, maybe a bit too unnecessary, so let's just take an Immolate, honestly. I'm feeling risky. Kurski is gonna be great for us because we have the thing Omamori that blocks it, so let's just take the Kurski. Hopefully it's gonna block all curses, but obviously we can't really bank on that. There's one shop here. another shop here, and there are 2 elites on this path. We can strike 1 shop and 2 elites. I think that's gonna be the preferable path, and maybe we go something like this. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, that seems fine to me. Is it a good idea? Who knows, really. Bag of Preparation, I didn't even see we got it, but that's such a great get. These are all cards, probably a Reaper, one of the Reapers, this one. We can just do so much damage to him on this turn. 2 clashes. And just, I guess, Reaper him, man. See, in this case it doesn't matter, because we have to get through the block anyway, but because we know that at the end of the turn, the boss would have lost his block, then in that instance it matters which attack you do first. But when he just has a communal pool of block, because in this case it doesn't go away because he has the barricade, then it doesn't matter, right? Then you just basically do it in whatever order. That's probably one of the biggest skills, or at least I would say one of the Slay the Spire is not complex, but one of the things that's definitely important is the order of attacks you utilize them in. And wait, I need to think about this. It's not enough to kill him, but we have enough block. Hello Freeze, my old friend, probably Windows updates, always play Windows updates. But yeah, the game is not very hard, but the one aspect it is difficult in, not difficult in, but the one ounce of strategy it has, I suppose, is definitely the fact that you have to you have to order your cards right, or at least the order you play them in. That's one of the greatest skills of Slay the Spire, in my opinion. The rest is not that big of a deal. Like, deck building is less prominent, I think, than most other card games. It seems a little bit easier to build a strong deck, even on accident. Just because there's basically so many good cards and because a lot of them synergize well together, or at least you know what you're trying to build from the first instance you get a relic or a particular card, right? Obviously a little bit bad Ornamental Fan or Recalcum are not really great friends because this only blocks for 4 and then you don't get the 6 block, but that's fine. Bash and Immolate is just a sick combo. It's not enough to kill him, but it's very close. This fight still kinda annoys me, it just feels like it takes a little bit too long, but Immolate is actually turning out to be a really good card for us, so I'm really glad about that. I don't know if we can kill him. Oh, we have Pen Nip as well. How did I miss that? I'm not even... There's so many relics you just forget. It's fine, doesn't matter, we heal for so much anyway. Whenever you rest, add a card to your deck. This is not the worst of things. But this is one elite and there's another one there. Oh, we can't rest in between. Oh, it doesn't matter, because we have a million HP. Remove a card and upgrade a random. This is perfect. I'm not gonna punch the frog or whatever he is. Just remove a Reaper, honestly. Immolate is upgraded, that's great. Honestly, receive a relic, 50% to get cursed. Let's go. Damn it. I did get the curse, which is annoying because it means I'll have to remove at least one on the next floor. Because of the curse key, we're gonna get the curse from the chest when we open it. And there are at least 2 more chests on our journey. I'll try to avoid question marks for that reason. Right, because question marks can also contain chests, and I don't want to have any more curses than I need to, even though I have a lot of gold, which means I can afford to remove cards in the shops, but still, it's better not to use the money for removing cards, it's better to have the option to add new cards, I suppose. Reaper is okay. I'm probably just gonna kill this guy, honestly. This is 20 damage, and yeah, so I'll do this and just get going this guy. Oh, he's vulnerable for next turn. I drew a card. I really should not be skipping my turns at the end. That was probably unnecessary. Not probably, that was definitely unnecessary. Right. No, that's fine. Still fine. Pen Nip plus vulnerable is just a ridiculous combo, I think. A Reaper, a Bash and a Reaper seems completely fine to me, honestly. I'll heal for so much here. 14. It's not so much, but it's enough. And the fact we have our Calcum, right? Also very good. Things are looking up. Except for the fact that we're probably never gonna perfect another enemy ever again. But it's fine, the deck is looking like it's gonna be pretty strong. I'm not saying it's a winner yet, but I'm saying it has potential. 5 potions is fine. An Inflame? 1 Inflame might not be the worst get. At this point, the deck is getting kind of thick, but I think an Inflame works well with 3 Reapers we have, or 2 Reapers, I guess, in our deck. Another shop. Apotheosis is obviously a choice here. Bottle Flame is also a choice. But the question is, do we want anything in particular in our deck, in our hand? Of course we want... No, right. It only adds an attack. The Apotheosis is a skill. I was like, of course we want Apotheosis in our hand. That's not the case. Probably remove at this point... Remove a Defend? They're not really useful. Because we have Orichalcum anyway. So yeah, that seems a bit... It's one of those decks that tends to be a little bit more aggressive, but it also works in the sense that we don't really need defense, since we have the other guy's dead. Perfect. We didn't even need to make him vulnerable. I should have done this. I didn't realize it dealt so much damage. I didn't realize we had 2 strength from somewhere. Alright, I had flex. Makes a lot of sense. Apotheosis is an easy choice. Draw 2 cards is also a relatively easy choice. A Ghostly Armor might seem like the choice here. It probably is, right? Yeah, no question about it in my mind. Ghostly Armor and just do this. Now, the thing is, without skills in our deck, it also works well with clashes, right? Because clashes get enabled by essentially having more attacks, or not more attacks but less skills, which means it makes it more likely that you're gonna have only attacks in your hand, which makes it more likely that you're actually gonna be able to use clashes. Gremlin Horn and Blood Vial, both great relics. We have to remember we have Gremlin Horn. The next shop is right there. Now, the one thing I want to upgrade is obviously Apotheosis. I think that's gonna be pretty decent. At this point, honestly, just do this. 14 is great. Maybe we can perfect the Book of Stabbing. Let's try to exact our revenge on the fact that this particular enemy destroyed us in our previous run. Let's see if that can work out. I think we have enough defensive potions that we can actually make this work. Flex and a Bash probably. Immolate is 35 damage, Bash is 17, but I think the Vulnerable is gonna be good, especially because we have Warcry. But 35 damage is 35 damage on its own. Right? I just realized we're not gonna be able to block for enough. Oh well, there goes me saying we'll be able to block for enough. Honestly, just a fucking burn. That made me slightly upset, because I thought we had them, but then it turned out that we actually didn't have them. We did not have him. Get out of my hand. Probably healing. Healing is fine. Should we? I don't think it's necessary to pop a block potion. We already took damage. There's no point, right? We have Self-Forming Claim. We have the Torii, which means we're not in much danger, and we can just do this to heal up back to full, basically. Anchor is fine. Offering, no question. Offering is just a great card, and we're able to restore the health we get. Yeah, of course, I'm gonna remove a card from my hand. Now the question is, which card do we remove? I think another Defend. Yeah, Defends are just useless in our deck. Basic Defense. Upgrade Defense are still fine, but the regular ones. The Booth, whenever, perfectly fine. Just the kind of card, I mean the kind of relic that works on its own, you don't really have to think about it. Heavy Blade seems okay, but not necessary. Honestly, just get another Defend out of my deck. Tiny Chest, gaining 30 gold, you're 10, meh. I don't want to be more likely to find treasure, to be honest. The rest doesn't seem all that good to me, so let's just skip. So many buffs at the start, man. Inflame, sure. Warcry. A Flag seems completely fine with me. This is great. Can I just kill this guy? Probably can, but I'm willing to try. That's 52 damage. It just seems like the right choice, and honestly, just maybe get rid of this guy first. This guy's gonna kill himself anyway, so that's fine. I don't even need to think about this. I can just do this. I don't even have to use Offering. Why even risk my health if I don't have to? Molten Egg would have been great to get on like the previous floor, because I think what it does every time you get every time you get an attack, it's already pre-upgraded. So that's just great. Maybe there's gonna be the one chance to see if offering can actually... I mean, if getting damage on yourself, it actually counts towards the perfect. It would make sense to me that it wouldn't. But it would also make sense to me that it would. Does that make sense? I can see it working both ways, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I should have probably put an immolate on top, right? I thought it gets discarded for some reason, but that's obviously not the case. Alright, so apparently we're not gonna find out. No, we will. There's still a chance. I need to be wary of Penib. So the question that's in my mind now, so because I took damage from offering, is it still gonna count as a perfect if I don't take any damage from the enemy at all, right? So in essence, the question here is, I have Unceasing Talk. Stop ending your turn so fast. This is fine. So to get the perfect, does the only damage that counts have to come from the enemy and not from you yourself? Doesn't matter, because we're gonna take damage now. We have 0 blocks, and I would blame the game for that, but the fact is we just don't have any blocks in our deck. We have a defend and the ethereal armor. Ghostly armor, that's what it's called. We don't need you. I mean, that's some block. Happy for that. Well, it's funny that the amount of block we have is still enough, mostly because we have a ridiculous amount of trinkets, relics, that's what they're called, that actually give us choose a power that gets added. I mean, sure. None of this seems any good. Let's skip it. You don't discard your hand whenever you lose it. I mean, this is honestly fine, because we have ways of removing status cards from our hand and we basically only have attacks. So let's keep it. Let's take the Runic Pyramid. Let's see what it does. We have the medical kit, so it does allow us to remove the status cards from our hand in a very efficient manner. Okay, so there's one elite here, another one here, another shop here. This seems like the path to go. We probably want to fight as many enemies, which means we probably want to go that way. Okay. So far, so good. I was talking about something before, but it totally slipped my mind now, so I'm sorry about that. It probably was nothing important, right? Probably not important. Let's say it wasn't. That's how I live my life generally. Whenever I start a thought, happens way too often. I mean, it happens way more often than you would think, actually. Maybe not. At this point, you're probably used to it. I start a thought, and then I get distracted, and then it just gets lost for a moment, and then 10 minutes later I remember what I was talking about 10 minutes ago, and then I bring it up again. Ghostly armor is fine, an offering is also pretty nice. Another flex, the first flex. What do I want on top? Probably a Reaper for next turn. Honestly, just destroy this guy. Undamage all enemies, it's fine. And then we can use the Reaper the next turn to get this guy. Because on their first turn, these guys aren't really doing all that much damage. It's on their second turn that they become dangerous. Another Immolate, we're gonna get another energy, which means we can... Oh yeah. But I wanted to damage. For some reason I thought that was gonna work out differently. That's fine. It's not an elite, so it doesn't matter if you take damage. And we can heal at the end anyway. I mean, we will heal at the end anyway. Bag of Marbles is completely fine with me. Receive 2 Madness or become cursed. I don't want to become cursed, so I guess we're just gonna receive 2 Madnesses, which are actually largely useless. Go here. Inflame is fine. There's some very lovely rain outside right now. It's the type of rain, sometimes rain and thunderstorms can be really scary and just really violent, and this one is much more peaceful. It's still thunderstormy, don't get me wrong. It's not thunderstormy, if that makes any sense, but it's very slow paced. You can, sometimes rain is chaotic, but other times it's very organized, or at least you feel like there's some natural semblance in which the actual raindrops fall down to the sky. Does that make any sense? Sometimes I just say things that I don't even really think about, and then when I start thinking about what I just said, I'm like, will people think I'm crazy? But you know what I mean, right? I mean, I hope you know what I mean. Sometimes it feels like rain is a little bit more organized than other times. Sometimes it's just all over the place. I suppose when it's windy, that's when it just goes all over the place, and with it's not windy, it's falling straight down because that's how gravity works, right? Madness for sure first. I should have probably used my Inflame because, yeah. We want to maximize the chances of it hitting a card which costs 2, which means that we should probably use our cards first before we use anything else. Probably just gonna clash this guy, honestly, just die. And you die as well, and you're gonna give me another energy. And this is fine. I didn't even have the chance to see the runic pyramid work out up until this point. I've been playing all of my cards that I have in my hand, so it just never really came up. I just noticed that we had it on that previous fight. Art of War is probably not gonna be useful if I have to gander. A Dexterity Potion, obviously the best potion in the game, at least for our deck. I mean, it's just ridiculously good. Maybe this is gonna be a good test of a perfect, because I don't think we perfected an elite yet, so if we manage to perfect this one, we'll see if this damage actually counts towards us not getting the perfect. Inflame first, because of the reason I mentioned before, and then we want to use Madness. And it kinda worked, I suppose. But we probably want to bash first. Oh, they're both vulnerable, so it doesn't matter. I mean, we have so much energy that... it's fine. You have less HP, which means I probably want to kill you first. Or maybe just do this. Do I want to do this? I don't think so, because whatever I draw into, unless it's Clash, it's not really gonna be all that useful. Oh, right, and it saves itself for another turn anyway, so that's great. Warcry? Doesn't matter, right? I mean, it does matter. I should have done that first, obviously, to get 3 strength instead of 2. It's fine. It's a perfect if the damage we dealt to ourselves doesn't count, and that we should check that at the end. So if we have 1 perfect at the end, or at least 1, it depends on if we perfect another elite later down the road, that means that taking damage from your own cards does not count, does not disallow you to get the perfect. Right. We're dealing a lot of damage, honestly. Yikes. It's fine, Runic Pyramid saves us again. How ironic that we're taking 1 damage against this enemy. It's so silly to me. Strike, a Warcry? Sure. It doesn't matter if we draw cards or not, right? Because we keep them anyway. There's no downside to drawing cards unless we already have a full hand. Right. Everything is coming up Millhouse. He's just dead. By something. I don't know what's gonna kill him yet. Was apparently a strike. Just finish him off the good old-fashioned way. Toxic Egg, also pretty good. Pantograph, the start of boss combats. We obviously want to remove the curse that we just got in our deck, because that can mess up our plans. We kind of have a deck that relies on us to some extent, not having any cards other than gain 1 frail. Honestly, just get us out of here. I don't want to see it. It relies on us only having attacks and not anything else in particular, so... we want to maximize our chances of this reducing Immolate, and this is pretty much makes it guaranteed. See, this is why we don't want curses in our deck. We can't remove them, and then we can't play Clash because of it. Wait, why did the curse get discarded? I thought we kept all of our cards. Okay, that actually works better than I thought it would. Actually works. You saw that, right? I thought the curse was gonna stay in my hand because of Runic Pyramid, but I suppose that's not the case. I guess curses still get redrawn, not redrawn, but reshuffled into your deck, that's the word. I don't want to use a Reaper this turn because it's just not gonna do any damage to us. I mean, this is fine, I suppose. Yeah, Reaper to have, I didn't do that intentionally, but looking back on it, it was the best play I could have done. Because now we have Pen Nib with Reaper, which means we're gonna do a lot of damage and we're gonna heal for a lot. This just kills him, which means we can't really make him vulnerable first, so let's just do that. We healed for 16 there, that's great. Spot weakness, none of this is... 34 minutes, we're still under the 45-minute mark, and it looks like we're gonna finish the run under that particular time slot, so this is actually the perfect amount of time I want to spend on the run, because like I mentioned in my previous video, if you haven't seen it, the only thing that matters is that you finish the run under 45 minutes. That's when you get the score for time. Being any faster than that does not count. Being slower than that does, because it reduces your score even further. Shame is such a lousy card to have in our hand. Reaper? That's fine. Is he just dead this turn? His. That went well. Singing Bowl, Liquid Bronze. I want the Liquid Bronze. Wait, who are we fighting at the end? Dona and Deka. They have some attacks which attack multiple times. I think it's gonna be better than Snack Oil. Our deck kinda relies on the fact that we have cards which cost 0, right? So remove the friggin' curse. Just get it out of here. I don't want to see it. Armaments. About lightning. Yeah, this is definitely something we want. Apotheosis. Gambling Chip is also pretty... Paper Frog also decent. Honestly, just give me more. It doesn't matter how much money you spent, the only thing that matters at the end for the score is how much money you got from the entire fight. I'm probably gonna duplicate the Clash, honestly. An offering given. Maybe even an offering. Wait, didn't I have 2 Clashes in my deck? Right, there's the other one. I didn't see it because of the scroll bar. My bad. Apotheosis first. No, I don't want to replace Apotheosis. I want to replace Ghostly Armor, and the rest seems fine, because that's all AoE attacks. Perfect. Flex. Immolate the entire friggin' place. They're all just dead. Now that felt satisfying. Dexterity is gonna be useless to us, also an artifact. Maybe they can debuff us. So let's just take the attack potion. Let's dig for our final relic, a frozen egg. Whenever you add the power, it's upgraded. Obviously the greatest get at this point, it's what's gonna save this run. That's sarcasm, by the way. Let's just drink as much as we can. Ghostly Armor. I probably want to keep that. So let's just replace the basic strikes, and let's just do that. We got 2 more strikes, great. Let's do this. A perfected strike is not... a rampage, sure. Let's do this as well. Apotheosis first, no question about it. Inflame, make something free. A flex, Ghostly Armor, get up to 20 blocks, so we actually have enough block for this. If we manage to perfect this somehow... Madness, reduce, sure. If you manage to perfect this somehow, this is going to be great. I don't think that's going to happen though. A man can dream. I need to be wary of Pen Nib. I think I just missed it, so it was bad of me. Very bad of me. A Clash is great. Honestly, keep drawing into more Clashes if that's possible. Put this on top of my draw pile. And we have a Pen Nib. So this guy's just dead next turn probably. We're just gonna do this. We're guaranteed to draw into a Clash next turn, so that's fine. The status effects don't actually matter to me at all. This boy's dead. This turn. This boy's dead. A Ghostly Armor is great. Strike. A Dazed. Perfect. Another Clash. Perfect. Get out of here. A Flex is fine. A Rampage. Honestly, just... yeah, fine. Maybe we're gonna be able to perfect it, and at the end, if we see 1 perfected elite and 1 perfected boss, we know it's gonna be this boss, and we know it's gonna be the other. So that's a perfect! On Dona and Deka, that's great. So we're gonna see if dealing damage ourselves actually doesn't count towards the perfect. That was actually a really fun run, very... sort of strategic. 963, which makes me feel like we didn't perfect them. but we'll see at the end. No, we did defeat the boss without taking damage, and defeat an elite without taking damage. So it doesn't matter if you deal damage to yourself, the only thing that matters is the fact that the enemy doesn't deal damage to you. I assume that includes spikes or maybe other status effects, but yeah, this is actually very useful information to have, which means that a self-damage deck can work. I've been really scared in the past of using self-damaging cards because I was afraid it was gonna ruin my perfection. I mean, my ability to get a good score, but that's not the fact, so that's really good to know. You see that we got a bunch of score for getting a bunch of money, which was easy because it was Midas, so we got more money from enemies. And we had light speed, which means we won under 45 minutes, which is the maximum amount of points you can get for actually completing the run fast. And there's no reason not to do it, right? If you can finish the run under 45 minutes, there's no reason to go any slower, because you're just going to be losing points. So I think we are on the right track with this one. We got almost up to 1,000 points, which I'm glad that my overall scores are improving. I mean, it's going to take a little bit of time before I get to 3,200. We're quite a bit of way from that, but we are definitely improving overall. Now I know a little bit more about the intricacies of the scoring system. Now if you only manage to perfect one or more 2 bosses, we would have easily been able to land into the top 1,000. And we can call that my first real goal. Try to land under the top 1,000, maybe even top 500, and try to get there consistently, because it seems like the scores above 1,000 here are definitely something like top 500. Is this correct? The scores are increasing very incrementally. I didn't expect there to be so many people with the same score, right? Basically, one page is just a 2-score difference from top to bottom. So if you got about 1,000, which I think could have been easily done, just by one more perfect essentially would have gotten us there. With that, we would have been in the top 500, I think. Based on my math, if my math is correct, if there is some semblance, if there is order in this universe, top 1,000 would have landed us here. Yeah, so that, I mean, getting 1,000 score, not top 1,000. Getting an above 1,000 score would have landed us in the top 500. So that's my first goal for the series in the future. I'll try to be a little bit more consistent. Now, like I said, I know some of the tricks that you have to do. There are some points you can get for having duplicate cards in your deck. There's also a way to get more points for not having duplicates in your deck, so obviously you can't have both in that sense. I think you get more points if you have 0 duplicates in your deck, so if every single card is unique, but it does depend on how many duplicates you have. It's a little bit odd, because it makes you structure your deck in a very, very specific way, which is usually not optimal. So I'm not sure if I like it yet, but I haven't played this game enough to really determine whatever that is a good addition to the game, or at least if it makes dailies a little bit more fun. But that's why we're playing this. We're exploring. It's only like the 12th episode. I think I've made some tremendous strides. Again, if you see me doing any mistakes, or if you would want to give me some advice on how to get better, I'm so open to that. Just let me know, because I love feedback. I love interacting with all of you. And what I love most is finishing a daily and realizing that I did a good job. Today, I think I did a pretty good job, and I think that's pretty good. So with all of that said, I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and I hope to see you next time.